What's up, y'all? You're watching Union Minded. I'm your host, Eric, and today we're going to discuss an article out of NBC 5 from Chicago. It's on the, I just looked it up. It's an article that's going to talk about future ICE raid plans. Now, we all know what's going on in LA and how that began. It was with ICE raiding Home Depots and places where people were working. It was a direct attack on the working class. And the response from the community was, hey, these are not criminals. These are not the folks you're looking for. This is a part of our community. You hands off. We've seen the escalation. We've seen the National Guard get federalized. We've seen the threats of the Marines going in. And now comes out an article that says they have plans for the near future to go into 5 cities, including Northern Virginia, from what I understand. So let's dive in and take a look. ICE to activate special response teams in 5 cities, including Chicago, sources say. The Elite Special Response Teams, also known as SRTs, are part of ICE's Enforcement and Removal Operations Department. Immigrations and Custom Enforcement is preparing to deploy its special response teams to 5 cities run by Democratic leaders, and Chicago is among them. According to 2 sources familiar with the planning of future ICE operations, the Elite Special Response Teams, also known as SRTs, are part of ICE's Enforcement and Removal Operations Department. There are 8 SRTs deployed nationwide who are trained to serve high-risk warrants under hazardous conditions, escort dangerous criminal aliens who have been ordered deported, and assist local law enforcement agencies during critical incidents, according to ICE. The tactical units use Bearcat-tracked vehicles, long guns, and tactical vests, typically in operations considered high risk. They were most recently used in LA just before immigration protests began. According to sources, the teams will be activated in Seattle, Chicago, Philadelphia, Northern Virginia, including Washington, D.C., and New York. It's not clear if raids in these regions will begin immediately, but units in those areas have been told to be ready to deploy, the sources said. This screams of trying to enact martial law across the country, and that sounds like a movie. That sounds like the plot from a movie. In fact, it was a movie, pretty sure in the 90s. This is crazy times that we're living in, and they're coming for the working class. Understand who's in the targets. They're going to say it's undocumented migrants. That's not it. They're going to say it's criminals. That's not it. This is where it begins. It's not where it ends. Never is. We've got to. Why do we learn about World War II? Why do we learn American history? Why do we learn world history? Why do we learn this stuff? Why do we read about gas chambers, concentration camps? Why? What was the point? The potential deployments come amid protests nationwide driven by anger over Trump's stepped-up enforcement of immigration laws that critics say are tearing apart migrant families. It is a moment for our communities to come together, Brandon Lee, communications director at Illinois Coalition for Immigrant and Refugee Rights, told NBC Chicago. It's a moment for us to make sure we are looking out for one another, and it's a moment to make it plain and clear that it is ICE and the Trump administration that is making the communities less safe. Although the crackdown and protests have been most prominent in Los Angeles, demonstrators have been rallying against similar crackdowns in other major cities, including Chicago, where thousands rallied and multiple arrests were made. Tom Homan, President Donald Trump's border czar, spoke to NBC News about the unfolding situation across the U.S. Our ICE officers have been attacked. It's like we are a third world nation. People think it's okay to threaten the life and safety of federal law enforcement officers and their families, Homan said. Protests over the federal immigration enforcement raids and Trump's move to mobilize the National Guard and Marines in Los Angeles are expected to continue into the weekend. Activists say they will hold even larger demonstrations in the coming days, with no Kings events across the country on Saturday to coincide with Trump's planned military parade in Washington, D.C. If you don't see the signs everywhere, how are you not noticing this? How are you still on board with this? How do you not see this? The only way is if you think you're going to benefit from it all. If you think you're going to be on the winning team when it's all said and done. And for purely selfish reasons, you're like, yeah, this is the way I want to go because I'm never going to be harmed by this. And that is a disgusting attitude to have. Just gross. Chicago police issued a statement amid reports of planned immigration protests in the city this weekend. The department said it will protect those exercising their First Amendment rights, but also noted it will not tolerate any criminal activity or violence. With public safety as our top priority, our planning and training for First Amendment assemblies are rooted in constitutional policing and the safety of all those participating, working, and living in the affected areas. The department statement read, CPD has had significant experience handling and successfully securing large demonstrations throughout the past few years, including those related to the war in Gaza and the 2024 Democratic National Convention. We will continue to do the same with all future large-scale demonstrations. As we protect these assemblies, we will not tolerate any criminal activity or violence. Those in violation of the law will be held accountable. The Trump administration said immigration raids and deportations will continue regardless. And that's the end of the article. But you got to, again, logic and reason. If they deployed this type of a team in LA and they went after working class folks who were not criminals, and it initiated a response from the community in defense of those, what do you think when you take away constitutional rights, when you take away due process, when you start to violate this and you're coming in looking like Gestapo Nazi thugs to come snatch up brown people where they're working, what do you think is going to happen? The community is not, they're not apart from the community, they are a part of the community. And so the community is going to rise in defense of those because that's family. What are you doing? If that was the response you got and it allowed you to nationalize the to federalize the National Guard, it emboldened you to send the Marines. Of course you're going to try to do that elsewhere if the end game is to rework America in your own image. We have this pesky thing called the Constitution. It gets in the way. It grants rights to everyone, every person. It gets in the way. And so we got to get rid of that. Well, how do you do that? You get rid of it by invoking martial law. We have to be wise to what's going on. And sadly, you got Governor Newsom out there. At least he's pushing back hard. But sadly, where is all the support? I just saw Mike Johnson on an interview at a press conference talk about Gavin Newsom should be tarred and feathered. What in the actual fuck are we doing? This is wrong. This is our country. If we believe in a constitution, we believe in laws, we believe in rights, we believe in all of this stuff that man, it's their fault. You taught me this dumb shit in school. You taught me about rights. You made me believe that we had rights. And now you got this going on. And I'm sitting here thinking, man, we got a constitution, we got rights. This isn't supposed to be okay. So where is all the leadership at? Where you at? It'll always be up to the people. It's always going to be up to us. But we have to talk to each other and be real with each other. Enough with the pleasantries. We got to be real. Y'all remember, the fight's not left and right. It's up and down. It's going to take solidarity to win always. Each one teach one. Get out there and reach one. And remember, there could be no union without you and I front and center. So let's go. Peace.